Jai Guruji, Shukrana Guruji. I am here to connect with you once again with Autobiography for Yogi, which is Guruji's recommended book. And my name is Amarjeet Nanda, and today we are going to go through the chapter number 11, which is Two Penniless Boys in Vrindavan. And before we begin this book, I'd like to again reiterate the importance that this book has been dearly recommended by our Guruji, that it is one of the epics that not just makes us understand about spiritualism, rather a lot of things which we have in our hearts which we don't ask outsiders, we don't ask anybody, what do I do in this situation? What do I do when I have, I don't understand if I am doing the right things in my path to spiritualism. This book has a lot of those answers that I think you should personally start reading it in your own free time. And as I had mentioned earlier, that the book is in two languages predominantly for us. If you are from India, then it would be Yogi Kathamrit, which is in Hindi. And of course, if you are like reading in English, then this would be the book, which is your Autobiography for Yogi. And having said that, I'd like to begin today's reading session, which would be basically day 6, that is of chapter number 11, Two Penniless Boys in Vrindavan. Okay. So having said that, as you can see, Guruji is smiling at us, and with the same smile, I would expect you to also start your reading, and let us continue this divine journey. Thank you. Okay. It would serve you right if Father disinherited you, Mukunda. How foolishly you were throwing away your life. An elder brother, Sharmon, was assaulting my ears. Jitendra and I, fresh from the train, a figure of speech merely, were covered with dust and had just arrived at the center at the home of Ananta, recently transferred from Calcutta through the ancient city of Agra. Brother was a supervising accountant for the Bengal Nagpur Railway. You well know, Ananta, I seek my inheritance from the Heavenly Father. Money first, God can come later. Who knows? Life may be not too long. God first, money is his slave. Who can tell? Life may be too short. My retort was summoned by the exigencies of the moment and held no presentiment. Yet the leaves of time unfolded to early finality for Ananta. A few years later he entered the land where banknotes avail neither first nor last. Wisdom from the hermitage, I suppose. But I see you have left Banaras. Ananta's eyes gleamed with satisfaction. He yet hoped to secure my pinions in the family nest. My sojourn in Benares was not in vain. I found there everything my heart had been longing for. You may be sure it was not your Pandit or his son. Ananda joined me in the reminiscent laughter. He had to admit that the Banaras clairvoyant he selected was a short-sighted one. What are your plans, my wandering brother? Jitendra persuaded me to Agra. We shall view the beauties of the Taj Mahal here, I explained. Then we were going to my newly found Guru, who has a hermitage in Serampore. As you remember, in the previous chapter we had learned that Yogananda ji met his ultimate Guru, who was Sri Yukteswar. That is what is referenced here, and of course we will read about it in detail as we progress through this book. It's interesting how Guru always knows how to select his Bhakt or his disciple or his Sangat. The same has happened with all of us as well. We have been chosen, we have been selected to be in Guruji's Sangat because Guruji decided so. So, Ananta hospitably arranged for our comfort. Several times during the evening I noticed his eyes fixed on me reflectively. I know that look, I thought. A plot is brewing. A denouncement took place during our early breakfast. So you feel quite independent of father's wealth. Ananta's gaze was innocent as he resumed the barbs of yesterday's conversation. I was conscious of my dependence on God. Words are cheap. Life has shielded you thus far. What a plight if you were forced to look into the invisible hand for your food and shelter. You would soon be begging on the streets. Never. I would not put faith in passerby rather than God. He can devise for his own devotee 1,000 resources besides the begging bowl. As you would know, Guruji always says that कितनी संगत आनी चाहिए, किस सत्संग में कितने आइटम्स बनने चाहिए सत्संग में. गुरुजी टेक्स केयर ऑफ एवरीथिंग. आपको बस सत्संग अरेंज करने के लिए आपको जब भाव आता है, यू शुड सिंपली गो अहेड विथ इट. अरेंज करना गुरुजी का काम है. यू शुड, आई थिंक दैट इज़ ऑल्सो ए पार्ट ऑफ आवर सरेंडर मैकेनिज्म. सो never, I would not put my faith in begging bowl. More rhetoric. Suppose I would suggest that your vaulted philosophy to put to a test in this tangible world. I would agree. Do you confine God to a speculative world? We shall see. Today you shall have opportunity either to enlarge or to confirm my own views. Ananta paused for a dramatic moment, then spoke slowly and seriously. I propose that I send you and your fellow disciple Jitendra this morning to the nearby city of Vrindavan. You must not take a single rupee. You must not beg either for food or money. You must not reveal your predicament to anyone. You must not go without your meals, and you must not be stranded in Vrindavan. If you return to my bungalow here before 12 o'clock tonight without having broken any rule of the test, I shall be the most astonished man in Agra. I accept the challenge. No hesitation was in my words or in my heart. Grateful memories flashed of the instant benevolence, my healing of deadly cholera through appeal to Lahiri Mahasaya's picture, the playful gift of the 2 kites on the Lahore roof with Uma, the opportune amulet amidst my discouragement, the decisive message through the unknown Banaras sadhu outside the compound of the Pandit's home, the vision of Divine Mother and her majestic words of love, her swift heed through Master Mahasaya to my trifling embarrassments, the last minute guidance which materialized my high school diploma, and the ultimate boon, my living master from the midst of lifelong dreams. Never could I admit my philosophy unequal to any tussle on the world's harsh proving ground. So this is in a way Yogananda ji is actually telling Shukrana to the Almighty, saying that how are the ways that he has been blessed throughout till up until now. Okay, your willingness does you credit. I will escort you to the train at once. Ananta turned to the open mouthed Jitendra. You must go along as a witness and very likely a fellow victim. This is a very interesting chapter actually. A half hour later, Jitendra and I were in possession of a one-way ticket for our impromptu trip. We submitted in a secluded corner of the station to a search of our persons. Ananta was quickly satisfied that we were carrying no hidden hoard. Our simple dhotis concealed nothing more than was necessary. As faith invaded the serious realms of finance, my friend spoke protestingly. Ananta, give me 1 or 2 rupees as a safeguard, then I can telegraph you in case of misfortune. Jitendra, my ejaculation was sharply reproachful. I will not proceed with the test if you take any money as final security. There is something reassuring about the clink of coins, Jitendra said no more as I regarded him sternly. Mukunda, I am not heartless. A hint of humility had crept into Ananta's voice. It may be that his conscience was smiting him, perhaps for sending 2 insolvent boys to a strange city, perhaps for his own religious skepticism. If by any chance or grace you pass successfully through the Vrindavan ordeal, I shall ask you to initiate me as your disciple. This promise had a certain irregularity in keeping with the unconventional occasion. The eldest brother in an Indian family seldom bows before his juniors. He receives respect and obedience second only to a father. But no time remained for my comment. Our train was at that point of departure. Jitendra maintained a lugubrious silence as our train covered the miles. Finally, he bestirred himself. Leaning over, he pinched me painfully at an awkward spot. I see no sign that God is going to supply our next meal. Be quiet, doubting Thomas. The Lord is working with us. Can you also arrange that he hurry? Already I am famished merely at the prospect before us. I left Banaras to view the Taj's mausoleum, not to enter my own. Cheer up, Jitendra. Are we not to have our first glimpse of the sacred wonders of Vrindavan? I am in deep joy at thought of treading the ground hallowed by feet of Lord Krishna. The door of our compartment opened. Two men seated themselves. The next train stop would be the last. So here there is a picture from left to right. Jitendra Majumdar, my companion to the penniless test at Vrindavan. Lalita, my cousin, Swami Kevalananda, who is called also Shastri Mahasaya, who comes and teaches Yogananda. My saintly Sanskrit teacher, myself as a high school youth. There is a beautiful picture on this page 103 that you can see here. Okay. And then we continue. Young lads, do you have friends in Vrindavan? The stranger opposite to me was taking a surprising interest. None of your business. I rudely averted my gaze. You are probably flying away from your families under the enchantment of the stealer of hearts. I am of devotional temperament myself. I will make it my positive duty to see that you receive food and shelter from this overpowering heat. No, sir, let us alone. You are very kind, but you are mistaken in judging us to be truants from home. No further conversation ensued. The train came to a halt. As Jitendra and I descended to the platform, our chance companions linked arms with us and summoned a horse cab. We alight before a stately hermitage set amidst the evergreen trees of well-kept grounds. Our benefactors were smilingly known here. A smiling lad led us without comment to a parlor. We were soon joined by an elderly woman of dignified bearing. So here there are two pictures wherein Anandamoyi Ma, the Bengali joy permeated mother. One of the caves occupied by Babaji in the Drongiri mountains near Ranikhet in the Himalayas, a grandson of Lahiri Mahasaya's Ananta, Mohan Lahiri, second from the right in white, and three other devotees are visiting the sacred spot. So this is shown in page number 104 that you can see here. And then we continue. Gauri Ma, the princess could not come. One of the men addressed the ashram hostess. At the last moment, their plans were awry. They sent deep regrets. But we have brought two other guests. As soon as we met on the train, I felt drawn to them as devotees of Lord Krishna. Goodbye, young friends. Our two acquaintances walked into the door. We shall meet again if God be willing. You are welcome here. Gauri Ma smiled in motherly fashion on her two unexpected charges. You could not have come on a better day, as I was expecting two royal patrons of this hermitage. What a shame if my cooking had found none to appreciate it. So try and appreciate the beauty behind it, that you would understand that so many times we already know that who is going to have what food and when and on whose calling. This is already predestined, and Guruji also says that. And this is our duty to walk that path and listen to Guruji. These appetizing words had a disastrous effect on Jitendra. He burst into tears. The prospect he had feared in Vrindavan was turning out as royal entertainment. His sudden mental adjustment proved too much for him. Our hostess looked at him with curiosity but without remark. Perhaps she was familiar with adolescent quirks. Lunch was announced. Gauri Ma led the way to a dining patio, spicy with savory odors. She vanished into an adjoining kitchen. I had been premeditating this moment. Selecting the appropriate spot on Jitendra's anatomy, I administered a pinch as resounding as the one he had given me on the train. So, doubting Thomas, the Lord works in a hurry too. Okay, the hostess recentered with a pankha. It's a handmade fan that is used. She steadily fanned us in the oriental fashion as we squatted on ornate blanket seats. Ashram disciples passed to and fro with some 30 courses. Rather than meal, the description can only be sumptuous repast. Since arriving on this planet, Jitendra and I have never before tasted such delicacies. Dishes fit for princess indeed. Honored mother, what your royal patrons could have found more urgent than attending this banquet. I cannot imagine. You have given us a memory for a lifetime. Silenced as we were by Ananta's requirement, we could not explain to the gracious lady that our thanks held a double significance. Our sincerity, at least, was patent. We departed with her blessing and an attractive invitation to revisit the hermitage. Okay. The heat outdoors was merciless. My friend and I, for the shelter of a lordly kadamba tree at the ashram gate. Sharp words followed. Once again, Jitendra was beset with misgivings. Okay. So here you can see a fine mess you have got me into. Our luncheon was only accidental good fortune. How can we see the insides of this city without a single pice between us? And how on earth are you going to take me back to Ananta's? You forgot God quickly, now that your stomach is filled. My words, not bitter, were accusatory. How short is human memory for divine favors? No man lives who has not seen certain of his prayers granted. I am not likely to forget my folly in venturing out with a madcap like you. Be quiet, Jitendra. The same Lord who fed us will show us Vrindavan and return us to Agra. A slight young man of pleasing countenance approached us at rapid pace. Halting under our tree, he bowed before me. Dear friend, you and your companion must be strangers here. Permit me to be your host and guide. It is scarcely possible that for an Indian to pale, but Jitendra's face was suddenly sickly. I politely declined the offer. You are sure not banishing me? The stranger's alarm would have been comic in any other circumstances. Why not? You are my guru. His eyes sought mine trustfully during my midday devotions. The blessed Lord Krishna appeared in a vision. He showed me two forsaken figures under this very tree. One face was yours, my master. Often have I seen it in meditation. What joy if you accept my humble services. I too am glad you found me. Neither God nor man has forsaken us. Though I was motionless, smiling at the eager face before me, an inward obeisance cast me at the divine feet. Dear friends, will you not honor my home for a visit? You are kind, but the plan is unfeasible. Already we are guests of my brother in Agra. Okay, at least give me memories of touring Vrindavan with you. I gladly consented. The young man who said his name was Pratap Chatterjee hailed a horse carriage. We visited Madana Mohana temple and other Krishna shrines. Night descended while we were at our temple devotions. Excuse me while I get sandesh. It's a sweet dish. Pratap entered a shop near the railroad station. Jitendra and I sauntered along the wide street, crowded now in the comparative coolness. Our friend was absent for some time, but finally returned with gifts of many sweetmeats. Please allow me to gain the religious merit. Pratap smiled pleadingly as he held out a bundle of rupee notes and 2 tickets just purchased to Agra. The reverence of my acceptance was for the invisible hand scoffed at by Ananta had its bounty not far exceeded necessity. We bought out a secluded spot near the station. Pratap, I instruct you in the Kriya of Lahiri Mahasaya, the greatest yogi of modern times. His technique will be your guru. Very powerful lines. Okay, the initiation was concluded in half hour. Kriya is your Chindamani. I told the new student. The technique, which was you see is simple, embodies the art of quickening man's spirit evolution. Hindu scriptures teach that the incarnating ego requires 1,000,000 years to obtain liberation from Maya. This natural period is greatly shortened through Kriya Yoga, just as Jagdish Chandra Bose, we had read about him, has demonstrated that plant growth can be accelerated far beyond its normal rate. So man's psychological development can also be speeded by an inner science. Be faithful in your practice. You will approach the guru of all gurus. I am transported to find this yogi key long sought. Pratap spoke thoughtfully. Its unshackling effect on my sensory bonds will free me for higher spheres. The vision today of Lord Krishna could only mean my highest good. We sat off a while in silent understanding, then walked slowly to the station. Joy was within me as I boarded the train, but this was Jitendra's day for tears. My affectionate farewell to Pratap had been punctuated by stifled sobs from both my companions. The journey once more found Jitendra in a welter of grief, not for not for himself this time, but against himself. How shall my trust? How shallow my trust? My heart has been stone. Never in the future shall I doubt God's protection. Midnight was approaching. The two Cinderellas, sent forth penniless, entered Ananta's bedroom. His face, as he had promised, was in a study in astonishment. Silently I showered the table with rupees. Jitendra, the tooth. Ananta tone was jocular. Has not this youngster been staging a hold-up? But as the tale was unfolded, my brother turned sober, then solemn. The law of demand and supply teaches into subtler realms than I had supposed. Ananta spoke with a spiritual enthusiasm never before noticeable. I understand for the first time your indifference to the vaults and vulgar accumulations of the world. Late as it was, my brother insisted that he received Diksha into Kriya Yoga. Okay, the Guru Mukunda had to shoulder the responsibility of two unsought disciples in one day. Breakfast the following morning was eaten in a harmony absent the day before. I smiled at Jitendra. You shall not be cheated of the Taj. Let us view it before starting for Serampore. So basically, that's where Sri Yukteswar used to, reside. Bidding farewell to Ananta, my friend and I were soon before the glory of Agra, the Taj Mahal. White marble dazzling in the sun, it stands a vision of pure symmetry. The perfect setting is dark cypress, glossy lawn and tranquil lagoon. The interior is exquisite with lace-like carvings inlaid with semi-precious stones. Delicate wreaths and scrolls emerge intricately from marbles brown and violet. Illumination from the dome falls on the cenotaphs of Emperor Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal, queen of his realm and his heart. Enough of sightseeing. I was longing for my Guru. Jitendra and I were shortly travelling south by train towards Bengal. Mukunda, I have not seen my family in months. I have changed my mind. Perhaps later I shall visit your master in Serampore. My friend, who may mildly be described as vacillating in temperament, left me in Calcutta. By local train, I soon reached Serampore, 12 miles to the north. A throb of wonderment stole over me as I realized that 28 days has elapsed since the Benares meeting with my Guru. You will come to me in 4 weeks, जैसे श्री युक्तेश्वर जी ने बोला था. Here I was heart pounding, standing within his courtyard on quiet Raighat lane. I entered for the first time the hermitage where I had to spend the best part of the next 10 years with India's Jnana Avatar, incarnation of wisdom. Shri Yukteswar Giri was also called as Jnana Avatar, okay, and he's also here termed as incarnation of wisdom. So in this chapter number 11, we came to know that how things which appear to be as miracles, which appear to be as coincidences, which appear to be that if you don't have any money, and how Yukteswar ji and his friend they were Jitendra, how they were able to go to from Agra to the other place, and they were able to find out means and mechanisms how to basically the food was arranged, and then if there was a guy who came and he told that I have been directed to take care of you, and then he gave this money and the return ticket. So all these things have been predestined in such a way that we ourselves are just we have to follow the path that has been laid down in front of us. Believe in your believe in that Guruji is never going to let you let you go hungry. He is not going to let you to be go into depression or anything like that. So as Guruji says that तीन चीज़ों का we should be careful about, and that it's my version of how I'm explaining it. It's basically divorce, depression and cancer, and we should all be careful that how we are dealing with these three things, and the only thing that can get us out of this these three kind of traumas in life is basically to follow Guruji's path. And as Guruji used to say, Guruji says, I'm sorry, that डॉक्टर्स को अपना काम करने दो, मैं अपना काम करूँगा. मेडिसिन भी तभी काम आएगी जब मैंने उसको ब्लेस करना है. So I think we all need to believe that Guruji's way that he communicates to us through dream darshans, through satsangs. When we go to satsang, we hear a satsang, there are answers, there are innumerable answers which are there. We just need to absorb that positive energy, take back that with us, and keep ourselves blessed so that we are able to also experience more miracles in our life. And we need to immerse in Guruji's divine love and just give everything to Guruji. So that's the way that Guruji is going to smile at us back. And with this, I'd like to end today's reading. And again, this is our dearest book, and as you can see, Guruji is smiling here in his Swaroop, and also here which is in his yellow color chola. So thank you so much for being part of this divine journey. Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sada Sahai. Jai Guruji, Shukrana Guruji.